in Mono Valley, I think they found it a bit weird because there was separate areas. The way the producer wanted to do it was say, like, the drums go in that room or behind that screen, the bass go over there, and that kind of thing, which I think weirded him out a little bit.
There was no live music going on. It was all, it'd be, drums, then bass, then guitar, and it wasn't what anybody was used to.
I remember being in this big old sort of churchy kind of a hallway thing, big ceiling going on and all that. I couldn't see any of the band, and we were separated, and there was something that wasn't quite happening.
I actually thought when we was in Mono Valley that it sounded all right, but of course I'd never actually heard the band live because we were always on stage, and he was going, it's just not right, and Alan McGee was going, it doesn't sound like you lot. So we were sort of taking their word for it, really.
The deliveries was all good. It was just the way it was. I think it was just the actual vibe of the thing and the way it sounded. It just didn't. It just sounded soft. It didn't sound. There was no edge to it.
It was a good couple of weeks before it was decided we were going to scrap it, wasn't it?
Yeah. Because we were in with Dave first, weren't we? We'd started mixing with Dave.
Did we? Right.
Yeah, and then Angelique came as it's sort of like the safe option from creation, wasn't it?
And they said, that's it. We're going to make a big decision here. We're going to scrap everything. We're going to start again.
Your music's coming out of a speaker which is the size of your fucking house.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to sound great.
Yeah.
Even Frank Zappa. and you're like, you stood there and you go, wow, man, it's just fucking monumental. And everyone's going, yeah, great. And then when you stick it in the car, you just go, actually, it sounds fucking rubbish when it's coming out there, doesn't it?
I've got a version at home. It was terribly, terribly dry, and it was nice. I mean, some people I played it to at the time preferred it. I don't think it would have been the hit album it is now. But in a way, because it was a little bit more understated, it was much drier.
Wasn't in any way representative of what they were at that time.
I think a lot of it was more with Noel, sort of Marcus, Alan McGee, just panic stations, listening back to monitor mixes, just going, this ain't happening.
After a couple of weeks of deliberations, they decided to basically start it all again.
I'll always respect McGee for that. He just said, look, fucking go and do it again. And we were like, you sure? And he was like, just go and do it again because you've got to get it right.
And it was at that meeting that it was decided that I was going to co-produce the record with the band. Well, I take that back, actually, co-produce it with Noel.
Well, the whole thing of when you're inside, it's a bit like Rain, and it's a bit like from that 66 period, the Beatles 65, 6, which we listened to a fucking shitload.
Thrashed it.
Revolver, fucking hell, man. We listened to that record all day and all night, every day and every night. Scouts cunts.
If you ever listen to Up in the Sky, the old mix of that was far more psychedelic. That was the one with the backwards guitars.
I don't think there's any way to say this without sounding like a twat, so I'll just say it anyway, and I can edit it out anyway. Or overdub someone else's voice on it. Or superimpose our kid's head on top of mine while I say it. But it's actually about, I wouldn't say it's an anti-establishment song, but it's about people, because we were all on the dole at the time and under conservative rule and that, and it was about establishment figures who didn't really have a clue about how people were living in England at that time and what people had done to the country, and it was quite an angry song to quite a happy tune. It was cheap and it was out of the way, and it's only accessible via a boat.
They didn't tell me that you had to put the gear on a boat to get it there. It was like they'd kept that one as a surprise. And even when I phoned the guy and go like, don't come any later than 4 o'clock, and I'm going like, well, maybe it's because it's getting dark or something like that,
Of course, when somebody says, oh, it's fucking great, this boat comes and picks you up, and you go, fantastic, we went to the fucking studio by a boat, and of course this boat's about the size of this fucking chair, and there's some bloke on the back with a little engine.
This little boat chugs round to the pier. Hiya, have you got the gear then?
If you want to go for a pint, then you've got to get the guy who runs the studio to get you in his little motorboat and put you across the lake, drop you off. There's a boozer right on the other side, so you dive off, you go for a pint, and he'd say, you better be ready for sort of 10:30. for me to pick you up. We're like, oh, come on, you know, 11 o'clock, last order's not. You're like, no, it's a tide thing. If you're not ready by 10:30, then you ain't getting back.
So it kind of curtailed the partying aspect of it a bit, because it was difficult. You had to look at tide charts and things like that, you know.
I just remember being Griggs with his bass amp, fucking freezing, middle of January, wind blowing, as the tide's going down and like the mud's coming up this thing, and we're going, this is not fucking like it was in the films.
Bizarre, wasn't it?
Elvis, I bet Bono never had to fucking do this.
And they were quite funny. They were just like boys that had gone to camp or something for the first time.
You know, it was like an holiday for us. Just some getting out of the house, that was it.
Can I have bangers and mash for my tea, please? That's what they were like, you know, and where's the jelly? And I thought I was on a school trip, to be honest.
It wasn't palatial, no, it was all pretty cramped in and no frills, you know. Tiny room with a pool table, TV room, and that was it, you know.
I slept in a sleeping bag by the table football thing, I think. Or by the pool table, I'm not quite sure. We were all very real, you know what I mean, no hotels and all that bobbins, you know.
It was just done really, really quickly. And we weren't up all night. There was none of that going on.
They were doing drugs. They weren't doing as much drugs. I've got no idea how bad the drugs got. But they were just funny. They were very, very funny, and they were very refreshing.
I remember getting on a boat and going to the studio. Can't remember anything else. Don't even remember coming back.
You know, we were finishing sort of 11ish at night. We were in bed at 12, up with the alarm calling, playing the guitar on 10, or the guitar or the bass.
And we just hit the ground running. And
Yeah,
I think because we'd done the album once already, we'd worked out all the parts, and we had it going on pretty much straight away, didn't we?
Absolutely. First day, we're recording straight away. But we set it up in a way that we understood. We just set it up like a rehearsal room, or you know, or like a gig. We didn't use any posh microphones or anything. It was all really no headphones.
No headphones.
Just the fact that, you know, each and every one of you were in that room, you could see each other, a lot of eye contact. It was what we always did, playing a room together.
And it was always made clear that there was supposed to be leakage. You know, like if you took an instrument out, you'd still hear it. And this was part of the philosophy. You know, this was not to be taken away.
Liam was down the end of the room, behind the glass door.
Drums in the middle.
I fucking love that, because it looked like he was in prison. He'd be there with his headphones on and he'd be shouting and he'd be like, I can't fucking hear you, get on that, I can't hear you. And he was just singing there, and then we'd stop, and then we'd either get the thumbs up, and then we'd go to Liam, did you get it? And he'd be pretty much, it was like 1 or 2 takes, and it was all there, wasn't it?
Once you got him going, off you'd go. You'd go take 1, take 2, take 3, and you'd just keep singing. So always in tune, never out of tune.
It wasn't much more than a week, 5 days. It was fast. You know, we did work quite hard, much more comfortable place to work with, and it worked.
You know, we were having problems mixing it as well, and we tried tracks, and it just wasn't quite working, and in the end it went to Owen Morris, and he mixed it, and then it came to life again.
You could tell the lyrics of it in Liverpool. It's very scouse to say, there we were, but now here we are.
I love Colombia. It's awesome.
It's all this confusion, not the same to me.
It was always my favourite song to play live. Always.
I just like it because it's got a bit of a groove in it as well.
And they don't change, it just keeps going. 3 chords, it's just grooving along.
We were staying at the Columbia Hotel that we used to come down to London before we got Bath, and that was it. We'll call that tune Columbia.
No one can say, oh, it sounds like the Beatles or it sounds like the Stones or stuff. To me, it's Oasis, you know.
Columbia was a demo off the original demo tape, and we'd stuck that out, and Radio 1 had played that about 20 times.
When I first heard his vocal take on that, it's like, jeez, you know, if I had heard it, it'd been up there.
We just play it for about a minute before we come on, and then Liam would walk on and make his dramatic entrance, like Nosferatu. To one man clapping at the back. He'd go like that, Ian Brown!